urgent and necessary community conversation. The theme for this Altadena Eaton Canyon Fire Town Hall is Understanding the Wildfire Recovery Compensation Fund. The primary focus of this gathering is to inform residents about Southern California Edison's newly launched Wildfire Recovery Compensation Program and provide clarity on eligibility and the claims process. There are plenty of questions to be asked, and only KBLA Talk 1580 has the right moderators to ask the tough questions, the right stakeholders and community activists to share their insights, and we have confirmed the participation of corporate executives from Southern California Edison to answer our queries. So be sure to join us at Victory Bible Church in Pasadena, 1497 North Hill Avenue on Thursday, November 6th. The event is free and open to the public, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. That's KBLA1580.com. Light refreshments will be served immediately following the live town hall. This KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Rising Town Hall is brought to you by the Black Freedom Fund.
Track again, y'all. NYC, dirty Southwest Coast, Midwest, let's go. If hip-hop should die before I wake, I put an extended clip and body 'em all day. Roll at every station, wreck the DJ. Roll at every station, wreck the DJ. If hip-hop should die before I wake, I load an extended clip and body 'em all day. Roll at every station, wreck the DJ. Roll at every station, wreck the DJ.
I just died this morning and she's dead. She's dead.
Yeah, people smoke, chill, party, and die in the same corner. Get cash, live fast, body they man's mama. Quick, fast, trigger fingers on the llama. Revenge in their eyes, Hennessy in the ganja. Word to the wise, with villain state of minds. Grinded, hitting Brazilian dimes from behind. Grinded, hitting Brazilian dimes from behind. Grinded, hitting Brazilian dimes from behind. Whenever, if ever, I roll up, it's sewn up. Any
Happy Wednesday. Welcome in. Your favorite timeline translator is clocked in. It's Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. And we're about to get into this heat, headlines, and a little reality check for the culture. So I hope you are relaxed, seated. You got a beverage, your snacks, because we're about to get into it. You know, Andy's always on theme. So tonight we are getting into hip-hop, right? Because for the first time in 35 years, hip-hop is off of Billboard's top 40. Missing. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We are also going to get into, it's Wednesday. So you know what that means. We're getting all up in the business with our guest, Damon Haley. Tonight's topics, we're going to talk about the Intuit Dome. Have you been there? Home of the Clippers. It is a very special arena, high tech. And we're going to talk about some of the features and some of the fan engagement that they are infusing in with the technology that involves your biodata and, you know, things of that nature, your data in general. So we're going to get into it, what that looks like for the future and how do we feel about it, privacy concerns, all of that good stuff. And of course, we got a little update for you about your favorite shows. One of your favorites is no longer on the air. We'll get into those details. But before we do all of that, you know, happy birthday. It's still Scorpio ganging in the building. So, two icons, two of my favorites, two amazing actresses, entrepreneurs, share the same birthday, same year. Happy birthday, Gabrielle Union and Tracy Ellis Ross. You know, those two are two of them ones, one of them twos. So shout out to them. Big ups to them. It's birthday season. And let's talk Anthony Edwards real quick, right? He and his brother, Be Different, have released a new album, Legend in My Hood, right? Showing off a different type of court vision, I suppose. It features Quavo, Pusha T, Big Sean, Wale, Nardo Wick, Hit Boy, and Key Glock. And he told GQ, we wanted it to sound real. So athletes doubling as musicians isn't new. We talked about the other night when author Jeff Pearlman was here, how Shaq was the first NBA athlete to go platinum, and the basketball/NBA album that I worked on, B-Ball's Best Kept Secret, that had Shaq, Cedric Ceballos, Dana Barros, Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, and a bunch of others on there back in the day. So we know from Shaq to Dame Dalla, Lou Wills, a bunch of others that are putting out music, but we're wondering what Ant's going to do. We know Ant's charismatic. He is, doing the commercials, certainly taking over kind of the Jordan Little Penny-esque. How can I forget Anthony Hardaway's name with Little Penny? But those commercials were iconic. And I think Ant's commercials and vibes give you a sort of mix of that, a feeling of that throwback. So we'll see what he's doing as far as, lyrics and bars. Speaking of throwbacks, this is the final season of Bel-Air. It's about to start in a couple weeks here. And the original Aunt Viv, Janet Hubert, will be returning. Well, not returning. She'll be coming on, It's the dramatic version of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So technically she's coming back to it, but she'll be in the final season. So make sure to tap into that on Peacock. It drops November 24th. And she's playing a woman that is wise, that is connected to Coco Jones' Hillary. So we'll see what happens, right? Shout out to redemptive arcs, forgiveness, and all of those good things. When we come forward, we're going to get into, is hip-hop really dying? Plus more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Play for whatever. You the big NBA star.
Okay, I'm about to take your heart. You got some pink slip?
Pink slip, no problem, baby. We can play for a pink slip. Let's ball. What? Ball up, let's go.
Now I told you once before, it's the mad punk, kicking rough stuff, quick duck, back to funk up. Yeah, give it room, give it space, throw your hands in the air, west side's in the place, word up. I got the formula, I'm mixing up the boot, take the to the head now, what you gonna do? Loose straight is in effect, like Heath, don't sweat, don't need to break necks, just to get my respect, I stay smooth, until you try to get on my rough side. What side? West side. Who tried to take mine? You start to wonder, I know your name is Stevie, don't think about it, fool, cause you know
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
California, this is your moment. The special election is November 4th, and your vote helps decide your future, your community, and your state. Drop your ballot at a secure drop box. Visit an early vote center or mail it. Your participation powers democracy. Every ballot makes a difference. Tell a friend to do the same. Sign up at where'smyballot.sos.ca.gov to track your ballot. Make your voice count. Don't delay. Vote today. A message from the California Secretary of State.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima's award-winning team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Actual client compensated for sharing their experience. Some restrictions apply. Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
For the year 2G, the rap game changed for one name. Drill's name is slain, anything on this plane. Remains are found when the best kept secret get heated. You went platinum with a ghostwriter, so in the game you won, you cheated. My slang banging, you need it. Man enough to pull a gun, be man enough to squeeze it. Damn if you don't believe it. Anything to do with millions, I'ma be with. Hats off to the hardcore. The rest, my guess y'all useless, just talking music.
Welcome in. You locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Bars, hardcore hip hop. Listen, before we get into these trending topics and headlines, you know how this goes down. 800-920-1580. That's the number if you want to get in on the conversation. Of course, you can hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Holla at your girl, say hi. Download the app or get with the community. Get with our VIPs in the YouTube chat. Shout out to them. They are always chatting. There's a conversation to be had, and it is had there. So, I'm not breaking down these topics alone tonight. It's Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, we get all up in the business and get into strategy behind the dollar, breaking down what is going on in the business of sports and entertainment with entrepreneur, author, business analyst, marketer, and I don't know. There's so many titles we could throw at you, DH. Damon Haley, welcome to the show. Welcome back, Damon. How are you this week?
I'm great. I'm good. Good to be here. Andy on the wheels of steel. That's what's up.
Wheels of steel. Are you dating yourself saying that? I think so. I think you got to not say that. I think you got to leave that out of the vernacular. I think. Done. Here's the thing. Actually, it works here. It works here.
It does.
But elsewhere, might want to do that. Might not want to do that one. Damon Haley is in the building, owner of Slay Hair 3 Wise. Co-owner, I should say. Let me not leave out the lovely Diane Valentine.
I don't own the most.
And Glow and Flow Beauty, Inglewood and Hawthorne. So let's jump into this hip-hop topic because I thought it's interesting. I think there was another Billboard list maybe a year or so ago. Something similar happened with hip-hop slipping, not being in the top 10, right? As of October 2025, right now, the 25th, so last week, the highest-ranking rap track has been NBA Youngboy's Shot Callin' at number 44. Cardi B and Kalani's Safe is at 48. Big X The Plug is number 49 with Hell at Night, right? That's the Billboard Hot 100 charts. This is the first time that this has been like this since 1990. Not a single rap song in the top 40. The last time was February 2nd, 1990. Biz Markie's Just a Friend peaked at 41. So after 11 weeks on the chart, Kendrick and SZA's Luther fell off. That was the last one on the charts. Presumably stayed in the top 40, maybe till, after Super Bowl or something, right? So the question I have is hip-hop dying as a music? It certainly has outlived the projections when it first launched. Many thought it would be like disco. We know disco had about not quite a decade-long run. Really felt like 5 to 7 years, hard body. You could stretch it kind of if, disco into funk, new wave-ish kind of, right? But relatively short. You think of other, not just related to black music, but movements like New Wave, the grunge era, per se, heavy metal. And those movements, though significant, are still usually less than a decade, maybe 5 years. Hip hop has been dominating the charts since the late 90s, early 2000s as the prominent musical genre, so to speak. Hip hop was pop for a very long time, to a degree. So is it algorithm fatigue, streaming culture? People tired of what? Because we know overall, as far as media sales goes, when I say media, I mean like physical media for music, vinyl is having a resurgence, but strangely enough, and even with iTunes, most of the music streamed, 70% of that is old music from 20 years on down. So it's an interesting place right now, right? Pop and country acts seemingly dominate the charts, but rap's heartbeat, I don't know. Is it TikTok, micro hits? What do you think, DH?
Well, you know, it's tied to culture and how we move and how we collect and how we respond to the music. So when you talk about pop and country, they have line dancing, they have different things that bring them together. They have a geography.
We have a TikTok dance now. You could, the residual, Chris Brown's Residuals, the other one, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, they move fast and it's just more of a collective. And so when you think of hip hop, you know, we had our run, of course, New York and then West Coast and down south and all these different types of things that was part of a community, that was part of who we were. So now it sounds different. It is different. You know, Kendrick is different, you know, and so his effect. And then you still have powers that be saying, we don't want that. We don't want to play that. And so I think that it will
Do we, though? Do you think that is still a thing with the whole thing with streaming and playlists taking over? And you look at the idea that some people say that as far as music executives go, they've been exploiting hip-hop and the deaths. They are almost accused the executives at these labels of signing these artists that they know are into street stuff, like heavily into gang stuff, and kind of pushing those limits in order to, the conspiracy theorists say, cash in on the life insurance policies and the record sales from the death and the streams and things of that nature. So is it still the powers that, I think the powers that be are in it in a different way, because now labels are tech companies. There's no artist development. So the care with the music isn't the same. Everyone's a slave to the algorithm and the popularity and TikTok. But I don't know. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I think that when we talk about like Billboard, there is a powers that be there. So that might not be a new barometer of how it is and where
Billboard.
it lives.
Okay, got it.
But everything you're saying is right. I mean, and there's going to be an emergence of a voice, because we always have that, right? We've had it since, hip hop 50 plus years. There's always going to be an emergence, but we're going to see that emergence in different forms other than Billboard. So it will be all of these special and unique type of people. So I think we just have to look for it in different ways, because it's bubbling up in different ways.
I can see that. Andy?
I think hip-hop is currently in therapy right now. Hip-hop is going through an identity crisis. I think hip-hop is trying to figure out what it is now. Hence the Kendrick and Drake beef, the reason why it was so polarizing. You know what I'm saying? You have a representative of what you would call the quote-unquote streets, right? And you have a representative who's not from that life. And I think you see that going on in hip-hop right now. Chance the Rapper just dropped. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really talking about that. It's a lot of people who's dropped. You know what I'm saying? Are we going a street path? Are we trying to be a little bit more conscious? I hear a lot of people talking like, we don't want, Lil Wayne dropped, and it was like a dud for a lot of people because he's not saying anything. Yet we have people who are looking at this like it's a straight hustle. I need this for the bag. So, of course, they're going to give you the formulaic thing. I think hip-hop right now is still trying to figure things out. You got all of our OGs who just dropped, right? Ain't nobody really checking for them right now. But they're over here like, well, just because I'm 50 years old, I can't drop music.
See, here's the thing, though. I don't think that the 50-year-olds that are dropping, I wouldn't. Now, are they... No, they're not going to be like what they were in the 2000s or anything like that. The industry isn't that. But I do think there is something to be said about them being at a certain age, making music for those fans, and then being able to tour. Not that they can't tour with their old stuff, but spoiler alert, you guys know that artists don't always like their music. They don't always like your favorite song. They probably hate it. They probably don't ever want to perform it. But, you know, and perform new music, make music, whatever they deem. Like we saw Cube drop, Snoop drop, Nas drop, Clips drop.
Ain't nobody checking for them.
And nobody's checking, you know.
Except for Clips and Nas.
But are they, here's the thing, nobody's, well, what does success, I guess my question is, what does success look like for a 55-year-old rapper? Jump in.
Listen, music is an art. If somebody wants to drop, they should be able to do that. Now, who they were wasn't, who they are now ain't who they were before. But they should be willing, they should be okay to drop just because. Like, music is forever. I don't hear other genres talking about, you know, Rolling Stones or whatever. You roll until you can roll because you want to be on stage. It's magical and people are going to come listen to you. We don't need to put age limits on, you know, hip hop and all that kind of stuff. We really don't. So I would just say, you know, and I love that idea. We are figuring out what this new thing of hip hop is because it is different. It's different. Like when you were cutting that, when we were listening to that, I'm like, that do sound like some 90s stuff. The ear is okay, and then I start bobbing a little bit. Now, today's stuff, it takes me longer to get into the groove. But I think that's okay. Just let it live. Let it all be hip-hop. It's cool. You can't say because I'm 50, I'm not doing hip-hop no more. That don't even sound right. That's where we are in terms of our maturation of a music that's our own.
I mean, I think with a lot of that is that hip-hop was a young man's game for so long, and we didn't have anything to look at as far as a hip-hop elder. You think about something like Run DMC. At 28, their career effectively was over. Not over, but they were past, in a lot of fans' minds, their prime. Their people were not rushing to buy their music. The fact that, you know, Snoop and Nas can drop and have some type of buzz. Again, I don't know what success looks like for a middle-aged rapper in a genre that we never expected to have this much longevity. I'm saying, and in the streaming era, like, if you only have 10,000 physical sales and let's say 100,000 streams, is that a flop? Or does it depend on how much you spent on the project?
Yeah. Well, let me share. So this is the interesting thing. So obviously, all these rappers aren't going to talk about, rap is a young person's game. It is, because you're talking about that kind of stuff. Usher going to be able to do what he doing for 10 years because he's talking about love, right? A rapper not going to be able to talk about all the stuff he or she was talking about in their 20s. So they kind of age out. And then by the time somebody like me that loves rap, I don't want to hear Snoop talking about how he a grandfather. That's just not what I want to hear. So I think it's kind of tough because we evolve these folks. But once again, I would just say if they want to get on the mic and drop something, that's success. Doing what the hell you want to do. Because we talking about megastars that are doing this. You know, and they doing it because they want it, they love it, they don't need the money. Nas and Snoop making a lot of money. I'm sure they don't think they going triple platinum with what they doing. So,
Andy?
I mean, look, I'm still high off of the verses, and shout out to Master P because he's just posting a lot of stuff to remind people about. And what's funny is that the youth right now, I see a couple posts from these youth talking about, well, I didn't know Master P was popping like that.
They didn't.
I'm going into a rabbit hole. So I just feel like nostalgia is what's winning in a lot of ways. You feel me? Everybody wants to kind of go back to what it used to be. But at the same time, I'll say this too. I do think that our OGs, they haven't really opened the door for the new generation like that, or been supportive. Remember 310 Baby?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he feels like the OGs ain't really low key. They trying to compete with the youngsters right now. We're in a weird spot with hip hop. I think, you know, there's an age little war going on. There's a culture wars going on.
Yeah, I think that's just because the old rappers still want the young broads. That's why there's competition right there.
Whoa.
As fans, they don't want. Listen, that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. I thought we were talking music.
We are talking music, but music as an environment. Here's the thing. Do you see age-appropriate women in any of those videos?
Oh, and Jim Jones still trying to be a YN?
I'm just saying, like, you make a fair point where, you know, Peter Pan, Baby Boy, some Jody. I'm just playing. Y'all are not Jodies. I'm not saying that. I'm making a joke. But that also speaks to hip-hop being a young man's game. And they like, don't nobody want to see me with this middle-aged woman in my video as my love interest. They want to see me with the young hottie. When we come forward, we'll have more on this topic, plus more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, yo, put the tails over there in the safe, you know what I'm saying? Because we spinning these Jacksons. The Washingtons go to wifey, you know how that go.
I'm saying that's what this is all about, right? Clothes, bank rolls, and all, you know what I'm saying? Yo, then what, man? What?
Visualizing the realism of life and actuality. Off the baddest, a person's status depends on salary. And my mentality is money orientated. I'm destined to live the dream for all my peeps who never made it. Cause yeah, we were beginners in the hood as 5%, but something must have got in us. Cause all of us turned to sinners. Now some...
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is defending his proposed corporate head tax, saying big companies should pay more to fix damage from the Trump era.
The best way we do it is that we invest in people and asking our corporate partners to put a little bit more skin in the game so that we don't continue to balance budgets off the backs of working people.
The $21 per employee monthly tax would target large businesses to help close a $1 billion budget gap. Former Minneapolis officer Tu Tao, convicted in George Floyd's death, will be released Monday after serving 5.5 years. Tao held back bystanders during Floyd's arrest and was found deliberately indifferent to his medical needs. And rapper Cameron is suing J. Cole, claiming he never honored their deal for the 2022 collab Ready 24. Cam says Cole agreed to either another collab or a guest spot on his podcast, It Is What It Is, but did neither. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Drive as you make your way along the 110 southbound at Stadium Way. The off-ramp's off limits currently due to the game that's happening. After the game, they'll have that right lane off limits at the on-ramp to the 110 so that people can hop onto the freeway easily. A crash in Anaheim, 57 southbound before Catella. Left lane's blocked, sending you back from Ball Road. It's tough in East LA. A wreck on the 710 southbound before 3rd Street. Second lane from the left blocked. Delays off of the 60.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the tackle? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
In Game 5 of the World Series tonight, the Dodgers will need a much better pitching performance from Blake Snell than he gave them in Game 1. Snell was rocked in Game 1 in Toronto, 5 runs, 8 hits, and 3 walks in 5 innings. With the series moving back to Toronto for Game 6 on Friday, this is almost a must-win situation for the Dodgers to avoid going down 3-2 in the best of 7. First pitch tonight at 5 o'clock. The Lakers are at Minnesota tonight. After 4 games, Lakers guard Austin Reeves is the number 3 scorer in the NBA. Reeves is averaging a career-high 35.8 points. The 2 guys ahead of him are Philadelphia guard Tyrese Maxey and Milwaukee center center Giannis Antetokounmpo. More troubling news for Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. Both will not be paid during their leave of absence. Billups and Rozier are being investigated for alleged illegal gambling activities. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
On Thursday evening, November 6th, you're invited to the next KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Town Hall meeting. This time we're convening at Victory Bible Church, 1497 North Hill Avenue in Pasadena. The town hall will once again be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580 from 4 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, November 6th. But you're invited to join us in person for this urgent and necessary community conversation. The theme for this Altadena Eaton Canyon Fire Town Hall is understanding the Wildfire Recovery Compensation Fund. The primary focus of this gathering is to inform residents about Southern California Edison's newly launched Wildfire Recovery Compensation Program and provide clarity on eligibility and the claims process. There are plenty of questions to be asked, and only KBLA Talk 1580 has the right moderators to ask the tough questions, the right stakeholders and community activists to share their insights, and we have confirmed the participation of corporate executives from Southern California Edison to answer our queries. So be sure to join us at Victory Bible Church in Pasadena, 1497 North Hill Avenue on Thursday, November 6th. The event is free and open to the public, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. That's KBLA1580.com. Light refreshments will be served immediately following the live town hall. This KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Rising Town Hall is brought to you by the Black Freedom Fund.
Established in 2020 during a time of deep racial unrest across our state and country, the Black Freedom Fund was created to make sure that leaders and organizations working to support Black communities and build power have the resources they need to stay in the fight for the long haul. We believe that those closest to the issues impacting our communities know best how to solve them. That's why in just the last 5 years, we've granted more than $45 million to over 200 grassroots organizations across California. That is the largest collective investment in Black organizing in history, and we're just getting started. We are clear-eyed and committed, more now than ever, to our people, our power, and our possibility. Join us in creating a future where Black people harness their full power to shape their lives and realize a just world for all. Learn more at fundblackfreedom.org. That's fundblackfreedom.org. The Black Freedom Fund is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Had to get it out. Yeah. Come on. My name is Quick and I be moving fast like a race car. But I'm top seed, number one like the pace car. Whether you up on me or you chillin' way far, you can tell almost immediately that I'm A-star. So listen, why you coming off hard? My objective is to catch you off guard. Get covert and infiltrate your clique. Crack your shit and mac your. Now tell me, could you conceive her? Giving her the love fever for hours at a time before I take a breather. And when she tell me she loves me, I don't believe her. Cause I rock in stereo or mono, hot like Gano. So when you see her out with his girl, then baby play like you don't know me and we'll keep her in a twirl. Because I go deeper than the deep blue sea. Baby, do you really wanna play the flute with me? I'll give you a sack and take it back and you'll gotta get it.
I did, I backed up.
Cause I fly with it. One with the mud, we're getting down, 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 down. In the club, they give us pound, pound, pound. Looking for something that be nice, brown and brown. DJ picking AMG with a brand new sound. One with the mud, we're getting
AMG.
They give us pound, pound, pound.
Dennis High Zone.
That be nice, brown and brown. DJ picking AMG with a brand new sound.
Don't chase it, but you can place it.
All right, welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe.
Too familiar. Get in the middle of you, and then I diddle you. Till it
You know, it's my song. And you got to let Sugar Free rock a little.
Baby, I'm a get the KY, you never manage to get low. Baby, say I'm fly like an eagle in a Range Rover or a Regal, looking for the party people. And when I catch you, baby girl, you should feel lucky. We can make love,
but don't forget,
cause you got more bounce than Roger Trout, man. I don't know when it's in or out, and so me, baby, give me that good thing.
Okay, welcome back in. You locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to DJ Quick.
Shout out to
Man.
DJ Quick.
I feel like
it ain't good enough to put the proper good on. Before I struck out.
That's it.
Jump in the air, stay there till I tell you to come down. And when you do, just sell a nice dream, but you'll have better luck.
I do.
Me buying you some of ice cream, drug, oxygen. You leave me
alone for I lock you in that little bitty box again. That's my part. All right. Back. Lean it to the side. Shout out to Slay. Hey, yeah. Steve Arrington, actually. Ooh, catastrophe. Pomona's own Sugar Free.
Yeah. That's why I say wheels of steel. He on the wheels of steel.
All right, y'all, listen. We are still talking about hip-hop. The chat is chatting. I got to scroll back up because there's so much conversation.
And East Coast fools will say that ain't hip-hop.
No, that is 100%. You better get
Tell
with this feminine. That's that real 90s hip-hop. So in our chat, of course, Morris Phillips says, every generation creates its own music. A song never gets old. People do. I agree with that. Every generation attaches to whatever their style of music is. My parents hated New Edition. I brought home Boy George. My mom was like, what is this? Like New Edition, they were like, who are those little whiny boys? Now, she took me, both my parents, my mom and dad, took me everywhere to go see New Edition. Anytime I wanted to, I had to beg. But they were like, I don't want to hear this. Turn that down. What are you listening to? Right? They just heard this high-pitched noise. Right? So from that, I give them some grace because it's going to mean something different to the generation that is coming up with it. EA says, hip-hop suffers with ageism. Remember when Method Man complained about the dead crowd at Music Fest? I do, because we talked about that the other day with Versus. The audience was not appropriate for that Cash Money, No Limit thing. They couldn't appreciate it. Andy, you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, I hate to say it. You know, I like to still think that I'm somewhat of a young cat, but I do represent a different generation. And, shout out to NBA Youngboy, but I'm just not just not on the train. I'm sorry.
NBA Youngboy to these youngsters, to these YNs, is like Beyonce to the ladies. When I saw those videos from the concert, I was like, oh, pardon me. I was unaware. Urban Spencer says Candyman Knocking the Boots was just on Sean Stockman's podcast. I got a Candyman story. So this was in the early 90s, about 92, 93. And I think this was TLC, MC Hammer, Boyz II Men, Jodeci tour. I think. Can't remember. I know for sure TLC was performing. Candyman came backstage. And he was under the influence of something. I don't know if it was alcohol, whatever, right? But this is maybe 4 years past 89 when Knocking the Boots came out. Candyman was done, son. Nobody was thinking about Candyman. Nobody Knocking the Boots, what? That's H-Town's joint. Nobody cared. So they were trying to remove him from backstage. This is a long time ago, guys. This, like I said, like 93. And he started crying. Like, this taught me so much about the music business at an early age. He was in tears. He was like, because there were other artists back there. It was backstage. It was, at the time, it was actually in the hallway for where the Forum Club is.
Ooh.
So that's where this took place.
I would be crying too.
You're funny. So, he was like, I used to be just like y'all. I used to be just like you. You gonna let them do this to me? And I think that maybe not now, but a little bit, that sums up what the music industry was, especially for hip hop. So, switching gears a little bit, Andy.
Can also just say that I just think this is also, once again, this is a transition period.
Yeah.
Just because there's no song on the top 40 doesn't mean that cats aren't dropping music.
True.
You feel me? Cats are dropping music. It's just not hot right now. It is what it is. And funny enough, it's kind of indicative of who's performing at the Super Bowl, right? Ain't no hip-hop artist. Hip-hop ain't popping. I think Kendrick took it to a level that it's probably going to be hard to reach now. Kendrick's GNX, as far as impact goes, I think that's the last hip-hop album for me that has had replay value, that you've heard several songs on that album on the radio. I don't know too many albums like that that's gotten close to it outside of, maybe Drake recently.
I mean, I think Cardi's doing her thing right now, being fair. Again, I'm not comparing the impact the value or the thing. I am talking about multiple singles being picked by the audience and going out at the same time. Yeah. When we come forward, no? Okay. All right. Listen, I'm asking questions. So we've been talking about this NBA betting scandal and the gambling scandal, something that we have talked about the trajectory for this happening for many years, right? We saw it. I don't know how they didn't see it. We saw it coming. But a former Colombo crime family captain was recently on CNN, right? And he revealed how, in theory, the mob could manipulate an athlete, not only with these lines and prop bets and things of that nature, but a little more. And he basically shared, what he imagines the formula would be.
The fact that a player had a gambling debt and they'd be able to threaten and exploit that as well. Talk to me about this connection.
Yeah, let me tell you, back in '94, when I was finishing up my prison sentence, I was recruited by the NBA, Major League Baseball, all the pro leagues to come and speak to athletes about the dangers of gambling. Because the FBI knew that I had a number of bookmakers that were working under me. And I agreed to do it at the time. I've actually been doing it for the last 30 years between the pros and the NCAA. And, these athletes, you got to understand, gambling is an extension of their competitive spirit. They raise the stakes on a competition. It's who they are. So many of them get themselves in trouble. Give you an example. Let's take a New York football team. We'll stay away from the NBA at the moment. You have a guy gambling with a bookmaker, a player, right? He gets in trouble for $50,000, $60,000. The bookmaker's working with me. So he comes to me, lets me know, hey, this guy's in trouble for $50,000. Should I cut him off? My answer is, why would you cut him off? It's an entry on a piece of paper. Get him involved, get him in trouble for $250,000, $300,000, $400,000, and then bring him to me. And so these guys are in trouble. Now we tell them, listen, you're going to pay you don't walk away from a gambling debt. You're a halfback. First 3 times you get the ball, you put it on the ground. I'll worry about how I'm going to make my money back, because remember, it's always about the spread. It's not about winning or losing. So if you have a player working with you because he got in trouble, or because he might be greedy and wants to make a few more dollars, then it's all about manipulating the spread. This player that got said that he was going to, he was injured and he wasn't going to play the whole game. He was manipulating the spread. That's all he was doing. So you don't win by 10, you win by 7, you win by 6. Don't lose the game. We don't want you to lose, but help us with the spread. Who's going to know? It happens a lot, Laura. You'd be surprised. It happens a lot.
So when we come forward, we're going to talk about that. All that and more on the other side.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Donald Trump has all but declared war on California, sending in the National Guard, blocking disaster relief, and cutting funds to our colleges. And now, he and Texas Republicans are trying to rig the next election by stealing congressional seats from black voters in states like Texas.
They want to rig these elections, and they want the power that gerrymandering provides.
Seriously, look it up. But Prop 50 is how we fight back. It gives Californians the power to fight fire with fire and beat Trump at his own game. Prop 50 creates temporary emergency congressional maps that level the playing field and protect the power of black votes. Not just in California, but across the country. Your vote matters, and the whole country is counting on California to lead. So use your vote to protect our power, our history, and our future. Vote yes on Prop 50 by November 4. Ad paid for by Yes on 50, the Election Rigging Response Act, Governor Newsom's Ballot Measure Committee, Ad Committee's top funders, HMP for Prop 50, and Fund for Policy Reform.
Open enrollment is your opportunity to choose a plan that connects you to Providence's comprehensive healthcare network. Choose a plan that includes Providence and gain access to a dedicated team of highly trained primary care physicians and specialists. From nationally recognized doctors and hospitals, Providence ensures quality care is always within reach. When you choose Providence, you choose after-hours care through our nurse advice line, urgent care, or virtual express care. You choose 24/7 access through the Providence mobile app to message providers, request prescription refills, schedule appointments, check lab results, and more. This open enrollment, prioritize your well-being with the peace of mind that comes from choosing a provider that values excellence and compassionate care. Don't just choose a plan. Choose a plan dedicated to health equity and community engagement. Choose a plan that believes health is a human right. Choose a plan that delivers exceptional care and cares about your community. Choose a plan that offers Providence. Visit chooseprovidence.org to learn more. September is World Alzheimer's Month, a time to shine a light on a public health crisis that deeply impacts Black families. 1 in 5 Black adults ages 70 and older is living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD, and the risk is twice as high compared to white adults. But AD isn't just forgetting a name or losing track of time. Signs of early AD could be repeating questions, missing appointments, or struggling with bills and daily tasks. These things aren't a normal part of aging. Here's the good news. Treatments are available that may help if AD is diagnosed early. If you notice changes in memory or daily routines, whether in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatalsearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com to learn more about the signs and symptoms and a potential treatment option. This message is brought to you by AZI.
California, this is your moment. The special election is November 4th, and your vote helps decide your future, your community, and your state. Drop your ballot at a secure drop box. Visit an early vote center or mail it. Your participation powers democracy. Every ballot makes a difference. Tell a friend to do the same. Sign up at where'smyballot.sos.ca.gov to track your ballot. Make your voice count. Don't delay. Vote today. A message from the California Secretary of State.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So, DH, what are your thoughts about, have we talked about this? No. I think it broke the day after you were here, and I was pretty sad that you weren't here so I could get your thoughts on it. I mean, you know, from the cricket poker games, because that's what I imagined was someone like, allegedly, you know, with Chauncey. The thing that's so scary is, yeah, it's poker games, but if you have an NBA coach in your back pocket.
Well, it's two separate things. One, I mean, the face of this thing has been people that look like me, you know, black men.
And where are the mob guys? Why aren't they?
Right.
30 others of them. Where are they?
And so, you know, I was very involved with that last FBI thing with the NC2A and paying athletes. The face of it was a bunch of black guys, not the schools.
That we know.
One I talked to today, you know, so we
My
still
friend?
connect. Which one?
Merle.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I talk to
shout
Merle often, you know. So yes.
Our former coworker.
Yeah. So I mean, and I asked him. He said, "Yes, they running the same thing. They just make it look like us." So that's the first thing. The poker games, I would say, a guy might not know. Like, you know, the Gilbert Arenas thing. It was just at his house kind of thing. He might not know everything that's going on there. Some guy convinces him to invite his friends. They got money. You don't know who's cheating. They don't have X-ray tables, the cameras, all that. Chauncey ain't doing all of that.
Right,
you know,
sure.
So I think that they're just a victim of maybe trusting the wrong people and not understanding it's a hustle. Now, the points shaving and manipulating the spread,
Rozier.
I think that that's been going on forever. I just think that that's been happening. And that competitive spirit that the gentleman talked about, yes, because it's just like MJ. So Jordan clearly said, I don't gamble for the money. I just like the rise of winning, losing, all that kind of stuff. And I know I've been in a room with MJ, and I don't care if I got $1 in my pocket, he going to want to gamble for $1. And that's just the way he is, And so I see a lot of that. But more so, I do think it's some greed. And I know people I know that have done it in college and has done it in the pros. I know guys, and I swear there's one game that I thought I sat there and I said, somebody threw this game. That's how improbable
He's not gonna say
the
what
win
game,
was.
Andy.
I'll tell you off the air, but it's the only one, and I talked to people involved, and they said no, and I said it must be the refs because it was an improbable kind of thing that happened. So I think it happens all the time. I think that at some point the FBI and somebody higher in the NBA just said, okay, we need to smack some hands on this one. And I think that they smacked Terry Rozier, they smacked Chauncey, and anybody else.
Damon Jones.
Dame D. Jones, yep. So, yeah, somebody says, oh, yeah, LeBron ain't playing today. That kind of thing. That kind of stuff happens all the time, even with your friends.
Yeah.
Hey, man, who's up on that? And your friend could be talking to the mafia. So it's kind of tough to not just say in the regular thing, it's like a coworker, oh, yeah, so-and-so didn't come in today. So-and-so ain't feeling, so it's tough, but I think if the problem got where it is now, it's so big that the NBA, FBI, and some other powers that be said, we got to stop it now.
Do you think limiting prop bets or making only like 2 or 3 prop bets allowed per team per game or, would help with some things like that?
Oh, it would because, you think, when Magic Johnson played, it was really just a couple of bets. Now with technology, it's fantasy and the whole thing. You can bet on anything, turnovers and all of that.
What did you say?
I love it.
So the business is too big for it to stop. It's going to continue going, but what do? They talk of, they march a few players out there, three black men to associate us with the problem, and us ain't the problem.
Facts. Andy, did you have anything? Okay. So a slight shift related, but not. The Clippers, are kind of merging fandom with surveillance at the Intuit Dome. I'm kidding, but they have sensors now that are in the seats that will track fans' cheers, how many times if they're standing up the majority of the game, if they're participating in the wave, if their section is the loudest, and they can earn points. It's kind of like a new wave loyalty system where they'll earn points and merch. They're going to assign them missions. It's like the gamification of fandom, right? All in the name of capitalism. But what are your thoughts on this? It's kind of like a fine line to me between fan loyalty and behavioral analytics. I don't know. It seems just kind of scary, like all of that data that they're tracking. Like they tracked a stat that basically says that when the dome is louder by X amount of decimals, and the cheering goes on for this amount of time, the Clippers win. They're doing things like that, and it's a lab kind of for new stadiums of the future, so to speak, right? It's kind of crazy to me. It's called the Wavemaker program. That's what they're calling it. And they are kind of a model for what new arenas are going to be like in the future. People are looking at it. Higher monetization, more targeted marketing, premium fan experiences, so they can target you based off of your activity, what's going on, because they are tracking you from the moment you enter the parking structure to, they know how long it takes for you to get from your car to your seat, if you stop for food, all of those things. So should we be comfortable with that if we get a treat for being involved?
I think it's cool. If you opt into it, you in it. You on the boat, you in the car, all that kind of stuff. So I love it. I'm a data person, so I love being able to choice architect. And so you can architect people's choice. You can tell them how they feel, when they feel, etc., based on behavior. So I like it, and every stadium gets better. you know. And so Ballmer and his ties to Microsoft and Silicon Valley was able to catapult the thinking and the imagining around fan engagement. So I love it. I think it's a great way to explore how people act, and if you want to incentivize people for acting crazier, you do it.
Andy?
Too much surveillance. Leave me alone. Can I eat my hot dog in peace? I don't need you, monitoring the fact that I'm eating this hot dog in 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Like, bro, chill. We already under surveillance with our cell phones and the TVs and all these digital products. Can I watch the game in peace?
Well,
you doing it in peace.
trying to sell me a T-shirt just because I stood at the third quarter or something.
SoFi has a stadium fan app that monitors you. Certain sections get offers that others don't. I mean, Allegiant Stadium has biometric ticketing and facial recognition. MSG has facial recognition to ban individuals. That's what they utilize it for. So it's everywhere. Listen, thank you guys for locking in. Check out Damon Haley at Damon Haley on social media. Hit up Glow and Flow Beauty, Inglewood and Hawthorne, Slay Hair 3 Wise. You know how it goes down here. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. And stay cool. Keep your receipts. And coming up next, Zoe Williams.
Got that PTSD from testing the key. Gums numb, hope I didn't purchase work from the FEDs. Cause every time I see the judge, it's like a scary movie. The court real can't do no jury duty. Internet done alter this to a different game now. I don't rap about dead ops, I let his name down. Shame how they blackball Kane, they scratch my name out. I pushed it longer than I expected to get my name hot. They wanna take me out this game like Shikari. Black Illuminati, touch big rabbit, streets need a body. I got all of them leeches away from around me. You ain't rich enough to get me hip, go up the bounty. Spit some cheese, chop a scene. Blew him up, had him hugging them EMTs. Turn the witness to Stevie Wonder, you ain't seen. Youngers on the Mando slide, this routine. Delta 88 with a cool knot in my tube socks. Now I push the goons through the boondocks and the coon tops. Penthouse in the city, my bop's giving me rooftop. Told him free my G-weed up, let the whoops out. KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier reportedly owes over $8 million in federal taxes after a 2023 IRS lien that's still active. The lien ties to his company GMB Chronicles, which owns his Scary Terry trademark. Rozier is also under FBI investigation for an unrelated gambling and wire fraud case. Jury deliberations are underway in the trial of former Illinois Deputy Sean Grayson, charged with murdering 36-year-old Sonia Massey, an unarmed black woman in her home last July.